This is the Content Marketing Podcast, episode number 190, the Back to School episode. Hello and welcome to the Content Marketing Podcast. This is the show where we help you grow your tribe and your bottom line through insanely good content. I'm your host, Rachel Parker of Resonance Content Marketing, and today is September 1st, 2016. Hello, or as we say in Texas, howdy, and thank you for joining us for today's episode of the Content Marketing Podcast. Just a reminder, this podcast is available on iTunes and Stitcher and SoundCloud and now Google Play Music. So if you like what you hear, please feel free to click on over and subscribe. Okay, you have heard me talk about my new book, The Content Marketing Coach, Everything You Need to Get in the Game and Win. We had planned to launch on September 1st, which is of course today, but as so often happens in the publishing world, we had a couple of days delay. So that's good news for you because you can still score those pre-order bonuses for pre-ordering the Content Marketing Coach. And those bonuses are an exclusive webinar on time management for content marketers. You will get a complimentary copy of the Content Marketing Coach's Playbook, and you will even get the chance to have a 20-minute complimentary consultation with me. Now, I don't know how much longer this is going to go on. I think we're just on a couple of days delay. So if you want to snag those bonuses, head on over to contentmarketingcoachbook.com and place your pre-order, and we will get those bonuses out to you. Okay, last week we tackled a question I hear so often from marketing professionals, and that is to outsource or not to outsource our content marketing. And we went through some tips to help you make those decisions. If you happen to miss that episode, feel free to check it out on iTunes or Stitcher or our various other presences or via the RSS feed. Today we're talking about going back to school. No, not the back to school that the kids are enjoying or possibly not enjoying right now, but our own back to school efforts to see what we can do to make ourselves better at our job as content marketers. But first, it's time to check in with our news feed for this week's rundown of news you can use. Some news from Twitter to kick off this week's news feed. Twitter is introducing a new message button that lets your website visitors direct message you with a single click. So you can embed a little button on your website that will take visitors directly to the opportunity to start a private conversation with you on Twitter. And Twitter has said that this feature works best when your account settings allow you to receive direct messages from anyone, whether or not they follow you. So if you are interested in this nifty little button, make sure you've got that setting in place. And apparently it is now available for all users. Now, Twitter has its own issues with those direct messages. I cannot remember the last time I took a serious look at my DM inbox because it's always full of spam. The only things I see there are, hey, thanks for following me, download my ebook, thanks for connecting, subscribe to my newsletter, that kind of stuff. I can't remember the last time I actually got a serious message on my in my direct messages, but maybe that will change with features like this direct message button. We will have to see. Okay, some news out of LinkedIn. So if you haven't noticed, LinkedIn is evolving into a content powerhouse. Every day, millions of pieces of content are shared on LinkedIn. Most of them are pretty good. Some people still don't get it, but most of them are pretty good. Well, LinkedIn is now allowing members to search for any topic and find relevant articles published on LinkedIn either by third parties or shared by other members in their feed. So you can search your feed, so the people you are connected with and the pages you follow. You can explore topics which might be published by just about anyone, and sleeper alert, you can search hashtags. Yes, hashtags are returning to LinkedIn, but only on the LinkedIn mobile app. So if you're accessing LinkedIn on your laptop or does anybody use desktops anymore? I don't know. But if you are using LinkedIn.com, those hashtags will not be live. It's got to be on the mobile app. So I am thrilled to see hashtags come back to LinkedIn. I was kind of sad when they went away and wondering what they were thinking. But anyway, this is good news for those of us who share quality content on LinkedIn, and I know many of you do. And also a reminder, when we write those updates and when we title those posts, to use to be very strategic about about the words that we use. We want to make sure that we're using those commonly used search terms so that we can benefit from that LinkedIn content search. Okay, our content hit of the week is a post called "Why is Content Marketing Today's Marketing? 10 Stats That Prove It." This was written by Julia McCoy over at the Content Marketing Institute. And I was attracted to this post because it ties in with a conclusion that I have started coming to myself. And that is, I believe about 5 years from now, the term content marketing will be obsolete. We won't talk about content marketing any more than we talk about color televisions, okay? Because it's going to be so integrated in mainstream marketing strategies that we're not even going to bother to make our distinctions anymore. We're not even going to separate, content marketing from the other things we do. It's going to be so a part of our daily lives as marketers. And that's Julie's point in this article as well, that content marketing is today's marketing. There is no going back to the old, as I like to put it, the barge, brag, and bully approach. And she goes on to cite 10 statistics that back this up. For example, the fact that 200 million people use some kind of ad blocking software on their computers, and the fact that content marketing costs 62% less than outbound marketing but generates more than 3 times as many leads. Really juicy statistics that she has to share, and some excellent insights as well. So I will provide the link in the blog post for this episode. By the way, you might want to keep this article in your back pocket when you march in to talk to your CMO or your CEO about your 2017 budget, because you never know, if they are not totally on board with this content marketing thing, they might they might argue with the fact that you need what you need to to create some powerful content, and these stats can help you make your argument and get those budgetary dollars that you need. So, excellent read. I will give you the link in the blog post for this episode, and the title again is "Why is Content Marketing Today's Marketing? 10 Stats That Prove It" by Julie McCoy over at the Content Marketing Institute. Okay, that's it for this week's update. If you stumble across something you think might be of interest to your fellow content marketers, please tweet it to me at @ResonanceCONT, that's Resonance Content with the ENT lopped off, so that we can share. Now it's time for this week's Spotlight segment. Back to school time for content marketers. I have to admit it, I love this time of year. Yes, even though I am down in Texas and it is still hotter than the hinges of hell, I love this time of year because you go into any store and you see aisle after aisle of crisp, beautiful school supplies. Nice fresh notebooks and colorful pens and pencils and nice crisp backpacks. I just love walking through the aisles and looking at this stuff. Now, I have long since disallowed myself from buying any more notebooks or pens or pencils. I already have more than one person could use in a lifetime, but I'm a real school supply geek. I just love seeing those big stacks of loose leaf paper and binders. Oh, I'm getting excited. Anyway, yes, it is back to school time, and I have a lot of friends who are parents, and I have a lot of friends who are teachers, and it's funny to see them when the summer kicks off. The teachers are like, woo woo, and the parents are like, oh God, they're coming back. And then of course, come late August, the parents are like, woo woo, and the teachers say, oh God, they're coming back. Yes, it is back to school time, and as we get those kiddos shipped back to school, this is a great time to think about our own continuing education and ask the question, what am I doing to make myself a better content marketer? And this is a question I address for myself on a regular basis. So as we ponder this at this back to school time of year, I want to share some of my favorite approaches for expanding my horizons that will help you to expand yours. The first thing you might want to do is expand your blog role. I know a lot of people typically have maybe 5 or 6 blogs that they check on a regular basis, and they give very good information, but you might want to expand your repertoire and check out some new blogs. Some of my favorites are, of course, ProBlogger. Darren Rouse and his team do a terrific job. Anything that Neil Patel writes, he always has such really outside the box, interesting ideas to share, and he blogs on a couple of different sites. Another favorite is Convince and Convert, which is, of course, Jay Baer's website and blog. Content Marketing Institute is a no-brainer. They are always publishing terrific content. What else? Marketing Profs. They are a terrific resource for some good articles to help you keep your axe sharp and to expand your blog role. Number 2, the second thing you can do is explore online resources. So, reading a blog post, you read it and it's concise and it's maybe 600 to 1,000 words and you get some good information. But if you want to go more in depth, there are many, many online resources that you can tap. And 2 that come to mind are HubSpot and Moz, M-O-Z. HubSpot has a wonderful library, and that is at library.hubspot.com, where they have ebooks and webinars on demand and worksheets and templates and all kinds of resources to help us get better at content marketing. Moz also has a huge library of resources. They call it the Moz Academy. And, Moz is known for their SEO. That's how they got their start, and they are still one of the premier authorities out there on SEO. But they also have great resources on content creation, on social media, on link building strategies, which is kind of SEO, but we still need to know it, and lots of other relevant topics. So if you want to explore a topic more in depth, definitely check out HubSpot's library and the Moz Academy. Another thing is conferences. Why can't I talk today? Conferences. The conference season is going to be heating up now that summer is approaching its end, and some upcoming conferences that you may want to check out. Content Marketing World, of course, is coming up in September. In October, we have Salesforce's Dreamforce Conference, which also always has some great speakers and some great content. Also, HubSpot. Speaking of HubSpot, their inbound conference is in November, and these are all great opportunities to to attend sessions and to brush up on the latest ideas. But I find when I attend a conference, a lot of what I learn just comes from sitting with people around a lunch table and hearing about the kind of stuff that they're working on and what they're making a priority, some of the challenges that they're dealing and how they're dealing with it. So if you have the budget for it, go ahead and explore some of those conferences that are coming up in 2016 and also early 2017. As I mentioned, it's getting time to put those budgets together. And if you don't have any funds left to attend a conference in 2016, make sure you build that into your 2017 budget, because those conferences are such valuable opportunities to expand our horizons, to meet other people, to network with other people who are doing what we do and who can help us expand our horizons. Okay, strategy number 4 is to check out other podcasts. I know you love the Content Marketing Podcast, and I love you guys right back. But yes, there are plenty of others for other quality podcasts for you to explore as well. For example, my friend John Buskell over in Sweden has a wonderful online marketing and communications podcast, and he's also a fellow dog lover, so you may hear his basset hounds acting up in the background. It's always very cute, but he has some great info to share. There's also the Duct Tape Marketing Podcast by John Jansch. I myself will be a guest. We've done our interview and just waiting for that episode to release. There are podcasts that are specific to SEO, to social media, to marketing in general. Also, for if you're a content creator, I highly recommend Todd Henry's Accidental Creative podcast, where he speaks to how creatives can survive in this create-on-demand environment. So go exploring. Pull up your iTunes store or whatever app you use and explore a few more podcasts and audition a few and see which ones you want to add to your regular repertoire. Okay, horizon expanding strategy number 5 would be to take an actual class. So if you really want to go in depth and you really want to learn deepen your knowledge about something, I recommend taking an actual class. And there are so many opportunities out there. Your local university may have an actual in-person class that you might want to take. Also, lynda.com, that's lynda.com, has a ton of courses. And when I think of lynda.com, I think of learning things like Drupal and really, really technical developer type courses. But they have a huge library of courses. They have courses on SEO and social media. They have some writing courses. And something I just found out is that with my Houston Public Library account, I have a library card with Houston. They actually have a deal with lynda.com to where I can take a certain number of courses each month for free. So check with your local library. You may have a deal like that, or your employer may be willing to spring for those course fees. And it's not a lot. It's not a tremendous amount of outlay. So explore lynda.com, and also there are many, many other opportunities. I recommend you just do a Google search for online course and then whatever you want to learn, whether it's content writing or SEO or lead generation, whatever it is you want to learn. There is a course out there that will serve your needs. So look into taking some actual classes. Strategy number 6, I recommend that you explore a different area of content marketing. For example, if you're a writer, see what you can learn about the design side. A few years ago, I took an online course on the basics of design principles, and it really helped me. It really helped me better understand how content and how marketing works as a whole, how design and copy work together, and how those design principles fit in with what I'm doing on the writing side. Or if you're on the analytics side, see what you can learn about the content creation side. And that's going to help you. Number one, is going to help you become a better team member because you're going to better understand what your colleagues are working on. And it's going to give you a more holistic view of content marketing as a whole and how you can better add more value to that mission of creating and delivering quality content. Strategy number 7, pursue a personal passion. We are not robots who turn on when we get to the office and turn off at the end of the day. We are flesh and blood human beings with our own passions and our own interests. And I think this is especially important for content creators. If you are passionate about photography or music or fine art, or if there's something that really excites you, that gets your creative fires going, explore that. See how you can get more into that, get more deeply into that, and then that will let you add another dimension to what you're working on. For example, a few years ago, I took a online course. Again, love those online courses. I took one on screenwriting, and I learned how screenwriters put together a successful screenplay. And that really helped me when I went back to my day job as a content marketer, and helped me think about how those principles can help me get better at what I do. So whatever your personal passions are, pursue those. See if you've let it drop off, if you've been, let's say if you've been painting in the past and that's dropped off recently, see if you can get back into that and see how that can inspire your work as a content marketer. And then, of course, strategy number 8, catch up on your reading. And some reads that I recommend: Adele Ravella's book on buyer personas, which I have yet to read, but I've heard so many great people recommend. Sally Hogshead has released a revision of Fascinate. Also, Everybody Writes by Anne Hanley, another terrific book. And might I mention a certain little book called The Content Marketing Coach, now available at contentmarketingcoachbook.com. But catch up on your reading. Explore what's out there since the last time you explored broadening and deepening your knowledge. See what else is out there from your favorite authors and from folks. You may follow someone's podcast or follow someone's blog and not realize that they have a book out there. So see what you can do to catch up on your reading during this back to school time of year. Okay, so that is my list of 8 strategies for broadening and deepening your knowledge as we approach this back to school time time of year. If you have any questions or want to add to the conversation, or if you have any books or courses or strategies to recommend, I would love to hear from you. And the best way to reach me is through the website, resonancecontent.com. Now it's time for our content marketing tip of the week. Abraham Lincoln once said, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I'll spend the first 4 sharpening my axe." Enhancing our skill sets and broadening our horizons is something we need to think about, and not just once or twice a year. We work in a field that is very complex and that is always changing, so we really need to stay on top of our game and make sure that we are always up on the latest developments so that we can stay sharp and contribute as much as possible to our teams. And one thing that I highly recommend is setting aside 1 hour per week, and maybe on a Friday afternoon if that's a slow time, or sometimes Monday mornings are kind of slow because people are just getting in from the weekend. But find a good time of the week where you can set aside 1 hour to focus on your professional development. And that would be time when you maybe attend a webinar, maybe read a new ebook, check out some conference presentations. If there was a conference that you missed, that you really wanted to go to, those presentations might be available. Whatever is going on to help you keep your axe sharp, set aside 1 hour a week for you to grow your knowledge, both wide and deep, and that is going to make you a better content marketer for your work, for your team, and also for yourself. Okay, campers, that is it for me today. Hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Content Marketing Podcast. If you like what you've heard today, please feel free to subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher or Google Play Music or SoundCloud or via our RSS feed. And if you really like what you've heard, please leave us a quick review on iTunes. That will help us get in front of more marketers and bring more folks into our happy little community here. Also, we are extending those pre-order bonuses for the Content Marketing Coach just for a couple of days. Don't know exactly how long, but go ahead and head on over to contentmarketingcoachbook.com. Pre-order now to claim your super cool MVP bonuses. As you know, I always like to leave you with a quote, and today's comes from Seth Godin. He once said, quote, "The cost of being wrong is less than the cost of doing nothing," unquote. Let me know if you agree with that or not. Again, this is Rachel Parker with Resonance Content Marketing. Thank you again for listening, and we will see you again next week. Take care.